This is a video I shouldn't even have to be making. But let's get into this. Dolphins fans, thank you for checking out my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you, as always, that comes in and kicks it with me for a few minutes while I talk about some silly Dolphin stuff. Like I said, this is a video that I should not have to be making, and the fact that I do is, it's sad, really. I'll give you the information, and then I'll give my opinion on it. And I mean, when I give my opinion, I want to hear you guys' opinions on this too, especially in a situation like this. I feel like the thoughts of the fans, the fan base, it's important. I'm curious where everybody else is at with this, so please comment. Tell me what you think after you watch the video, and let me know where you stand on this. I'm genuinely curious to see if I'm in the majority or if I'm in the minority with my thoughts on it. It has to do with Tyreek Hill. Today or yesterday or whenever he did this, I think it was today on a Twitch stream. He was playing some Fortnite, and he finally kind of addressed the whole comments that he made at the end of the season, right after that game. Now, before I read the comments, read his comments about it, finally addressing it a little bit, I want to say, number one, I want to clarify, when the game was over and he came out and gave that interview, he didn't want to come out and give that interview. And like I said, I'm going to give all the information here, and you guys can take with it what you do with it what you want. He didn't want to give the interview. He actually refused to come out of the locker room, didn't want to talk to the media right then and there. Obviously was pretty hot about everything. And they told him that he had to. Look, you're a captain. Your team just lost to the end of the season, the last game against the Jets, and they want to talk to you. So you're going to go out there and you're going to talk to them. So he went out there and he gave his comments that we all know what the comments were. We all know what he said. It's nothing new. But today he addressed it. And these are his comments. What y'all had heard at the end of the season, that was frustration. I've been winning my whole life, bruh. Y'all don't understand. I bust my ass every day. I deserve to feel like that. I deserve to have some kind of opinion. Y'all just want me to say, oh well, we'll get him next year. Nah, F that. We've got to come back. We've got to put some pressure on mother effers. Y'all got to fix this beep. Come on, add some mother effing dogs in this beep. I compete. I love to compete, bruh. Okay. I'm gonna do my best to address this peacefully, calmly, and sanely. I understand, and I guess maybe I'll just do it this way. Like, he's not gonna be watching me anyway, so I'll just address it to Tyreek, like I'm speaking to him. I understand the frustration that you're feeling. I understand how being forced to come out of the locker room when you didn't want to come out of the locker room, and being forced to give an interview that you didn't want to give. I totally understand the frustration there. I understand that you're used to winning, and if I was in a position where I was in the playoffs every year of my NFL career, and then I missed the playoffs, I understand that I would feel some type of way about that. I really do. I can empathize with your thoughts there and with your feelings. I understand that your frustration, well, let's put it this way. I understand the frustration of Dolphins fans with this team. And I can understand that just because some people are on the team itself, I can understand that the players might feel a lot of the same things and ways that the fans do. So I can understand you being frustrated with the way the team performed this year. That being said, you're a captain of an NFL football team. As a captain, you can be sure that even when you lose, teams or media is going to want to speak to you. You are the captain. Captain. You're not a player. You're not just a star player. You're a captain of this team. It's kind of in the job description as a captain to represent your team. And not just represent it, but represent your team in a positive, good way, showing great leadership, not just skills. These are my thoughts, everybody. His quitting on this team before the game was over and not going back in. I can understand him not wanting to play because his wrist was broken. And when it got to a point where it was clear that we weren't going to make the playoffs even if we won that game, I can understand the thought, maybe I shouldn't really go back in there and make this wrist injury any worse. I can maybe understand that a little bit. But at the same time, you're a captain of a football team in the NFL. You aren't afforded the ability or the luxury of quitting when you deem it necessary. You've made a mockery, even more, of a terrible last game for an NFL team to have for a season. Your shenanigans, I said shenanigans, your shenanigans made things worse. Your refusal to understand the brevity of a situation, which is the end of the season and a time when you had to give an interview. I'm not saying go up there and lie completely, but the things that you said were wrong. The way you handled the situation was wrong. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. You're the leader of an NFL football team. That C on your chest means that you need to be doing it better and cleaner than any of the other guys. That's what a captain is. They're not just the leader, they're setting an example. We had players who were on this team for 2 months that gave an interview after that game and sounded more like a leader than our star wide receiver with the captain on his chest. I feel it some type of way as well, obviously. I don't think, and let me be clear here, everybody. I have been nothing but supportive of Tyreek Hill since he came to this team. With the incident of him slapping a guy on a boat and getting in a fight and all that. With the police incident before the Jacksonville game in week 1. With all the stuff about, his house burning down and everything else that's been going on since he's been in Miami. All of his little goofy comments throughout the season on Twitter. All of it. I've been supportive of him. He's just a troll. He doesn't really mean it. It's just, one of those things. He kind of got screwed over by the police, And I still do think he was mistreated a little bit by the police. However, he obviously didn't make the situation better by the way he was talking to the police officer in the car, while he was still in the car, at the beginning of that confrontation, which they don't really show very much of, but if you look around, you can see the initial contact from the police to Tyreek Hill while he was still in his car. My point is I've been supportive of him through all of it. I recognize that he's one of the, if not the best, one of the top 3 or 4 receivers in the NFL for sure. I recognize that. I've been supportive of him all year. Through the drop passes, through the fumbles last year, through all this stuff. And the way he handled himself and the mockery he made of this team by what he did in that post-game interview, it's just about become a last straw for me personally. And I'm not telling you fans, I'm not telling you fans how to take this and how to feel. I'm just letting you guys know this is how I feel about this. I feel like Tyreek Hill, he messed up. And if he can't, he kind of came out with this on while he was playing Fortnite on this little explanation, and he explained how he felt about it. And I even agree with some of the things he said. You need to get some dogs on this team. Yeah, I agree. We need some dogs on this team. I agree. I agree that it's unacceptable, Tyreek Hill. I do. I agree that the situation and the performance that we had this year as a team was unacceptable. You, as a captain, are responsible, partly, but responsible for that performance. You had some drop passes too. You fluffed a few blocks. You didn't do everything perfect during this season. You certainly didn't conduct yourself properly while you were off the field this season. It sucks to have to say this stuff, but I'm being honest. As someone who's been a football player, who's been a captain of a team before, I can tell you that the things that he did are unacceptable even at a college or a high school level. So they're certainly unacceptable on an NFL level. Money and contract situations aside, I personally would say it's time to let Tyreek walk. But that might not happen. If it does, okay. If not, okay. But I tell you what, this is the point where if this stuff continues, if he continues to act this way, it's got to be over for him here in Miami. He's making a lot of money to play for this team. More money than he's ever made. You'd think that it would warrant a little bit better actions off the field as well. Not just on the field, but off the field. You're a professional football player, not just a football player. You need to be a professional, a consummate one, because you have that captain's C on your jersey. A consummate professional. That's what you have to be in the NFL if you're going to be a successful Hall of Fame style NFL player. And right now, he's not being professional. The professional would come out and say, you could say those things that he said on Twitter just now, or on Twitch, about, how frustrated you were. Totally could say that. But in that conversation that he had with whoever he was talking to on Twitch, in that conversation, there needed to be, I realized that the things that I said were unacceptable, and I shouldn't have said it. I should have been more mature in that situation. I did not want to give that interview, but I should have handled it better. For that, I apologize. And I'm going to do my best to make sure I never do something like that again. I'm not even the one that did it, and I just said what needed to be said. Why can he not? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pride issue. Sometimes we have to put our pride aside, and we have to admit that when we've made a mistake, and we have to apologize for it. Every human being on the face of the earth, you, me, your kids, your mom, your dad, we've all had to do it. We've all messed up. Even if you don't believe in God, surely you can admit that we're all sinners. I've screwed up a lot in my life. but I've found the time to apologize for the things that I've done that were wrong. And there's a sense of closure that comes with an apology that you owe. When you genuinely and wholeheartedly apologize for something that you've done and you mean it, it feels good to get it off, to get done with it, to be done with the situation. It's a lot of weight off your shoulders. I think Tyreek Hill needs to do that. I think he needs to apologize. Not just explain away why he did what he did, but to say he's sorry for it. He needs to feel some sorrow for what he's done and what he's said. If he doesn't have that, I have no interest in having him on the team personally. Because without the apology, without the feeling like you are doing something wrong, it's just going to continue. And not only will it continue, it will balloon. It'll keep expanding, keep getting worse. That's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I feel about it. I feel like he needs to apologize. And if he doesn't, then I feel like he needs to go. I don't feel like it's going to get better without the person who'd done something like this. Without that person feeling some sorrow, some regret for what they've done, what they've said. So that's where I'm at. I don't think that he's going to be traded. I want him to, but I don't think he's going to be traded. I think he's going to be in a Dolphins uniform next year. However, I do not think that he's going to be wearing a Captain C on his jersey. I think you're going to see Tyreek Hill not be a captain next year. I hope he gets his wrist fixed. I hope he heals up well. I hope he plays well. If it's not for us, I hope he has a good season somewhere else. If he plays for us, of course I want him to succeed. I'm a Dolphins fan, not a Tyreek Hill fan. But since Tyreek Hill is on the Dolphins currently, I want him to be successful. I want the players on the team to be friends with him. I want there to be a sense of camaraderie. I don't want a sense of betrayal to float through the locker room. I don't want that hanging in the air of a locker room of a football team. A football team needs to be connected on different levels, not just from a gameplay perspective. They need to be friends. They need to be connected. They need to have interactions with one another on a positive scale. They don't need to do things that make other players resent them behind their back. So this is kind of a serious little bit here, but I needed to cover it. I needed to get my thoughts out there on this because it frustrates me. I know that on the teams that I've coached, that player would be off the team. That's not money involved, obviously. It's not a money issue there. It certainly makes things more simple. So since the situation is complicated by salary and by contracts, this is where Mike McDaniel and the other players on that team come in. Someone needs to sit him down and give him the old knife hand. Hey, bro, this is what you're doing wrong, and this is why we don't like it. It needs to happen. Everybody has to answer to somebody. No one is above repercussions. This is the real world. Even if it is the NFL, it's the real world. And I'm not talking about that stupid MTV show. I'm talking about life. We all answer to somebody. We all make mistakes. And the world would be a better place if we could all apologize for the things that we do that wrong other people. So there it is. Tomorrow we have big games. We have Philadelphia and Washington playing each other for the NFC Championship. And we have Buffalo traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. I am so excited for these games. I'll go ahead and give you my predictions. I mean, it was such a serious video so far. And now I'm feeling all amped up for these games. I'm moving on from the Tyreek stuff for now. And I want to talk about these games just real quick. No previews. Just want to talk about it and what I hope happens here. I am not a Buffalo Bills fan. I am not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And if I had my way, here's what I think about the Buffalo and Chiefs game. I don't know who I want to win. Oh, I'm a terrible Dolphins fan. Oh, how could I possibly think that the Bills should win? Well, if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, they're going to win. Nobody is going to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Not the Eagles, not the Commanders, not both of the teams combined. It's just not going to happen. If the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to win. They're going to win 3 in a row. And then we're going to have to listen to this dynasty talk forever. So I tell you what, I'm not going to watch this game and root for one or the other. I'm just going to watch the game and enjoy it. Because I want them both to lose. I want the Chiefs to lose. I want the Bills to lose. I don't know what I'm going to do watching this game. Oh my goodness. But I'm going to watch it. I might even live stream the second half tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. If I come back from church and I'm feeling like I want to do a live stream, I'll live stream the game. But until I make that decision, I'm not going to say for sure. Busy time of year for us over here at the household of Frozen Fins fans. So I'm going to watch both games tomorrow. I'm just not sure if I'm going to have time to live stream. So if it happens, great. I hope to see you guys there. If not, enjoy the games. Enjoy that game specifically. I don't have a pick for that game. My mind is telling me that Kansas City is going to win. And I just want to see a good game. Whatever team wins out of the Chiefs and the Bills, I want them to lose in the Super Bowl. So that's where I'm at with it. If the Eagles or the Commanders win out of the NFC, I want that team to win the Super Bowl. I would love to see Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders go to the Super Bowl and win. That's what I would love to see. And that's personally what I'm going to be rooting for. I do think that the Eagles are going to win against the Commanders, and I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm not sure if the Commanders have enough to beat the Eagles and Saquon Barkley in Philly for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It's going to be a tall order, ladies and gentlemen. Saquon Barkley deserves a ring. He's playing out of his mind and probably has one of the best arguments to be an MVP. No joke. I know he's not a quarterback, and that's probably why he's not going to win it. But man, he has had an MVP season. So I'm going to be rooting for Washington to beat the Eagles. I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see what happens there. You guys enjoy those games. 2 great games. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I know it's kind of on a serious note, but it's things that needed to be said, and I needed to cover what Tyreek said in his Twitch stream because it's valid. And he does have points. Just the biggest point that he needed to make today while he was discussing it, he didn't do. He didn't apologize. He didn't admit that he should have handled that differently. And he definitely should have. So, if he stays with the team, I hope that he has a perfect existence with Miami from there on out if he stays with us, because I feel like the next small mistake, he's going to be given a first-class ticket out of Florida. So, with that, thank you everybody for watching this channel. It's a small little channel. I'm trying to grow it a little bit. So anybody who comes in and sees this video, give a subscribe, throw a like, comment, tell me what you guys think about this Tyreek Hill situation. I read every single comment, and I reply to each and every comment too. So tell me what you guys think. And until I talk to you guys next time, stay hopeful and fins up.